When we think of the Big Show, we see a giant, over 7 feet tall, over 400 pounds, and one of the most dominant superstars in WWE history. But what fans often forget is the pain he carried behind the scenes. For more than 25 years, the Big Show's body took unbelievable punishment, leading to countless injuries, surgeries, and struggles that nearly ended his career more than once. Today, we uncover the painful story of the Big Show's injuries, the battles that the cameras didn't always show. Being the Big Show wasn't just about size. It came with consequences. Carrying that much weight, slamming into the mat night after night, put extreme pressure on his knees, back, and hips. From the very beginning, doctors warned him that his career could be cut short by injuries. But Big Show refused to stop. He kept fighting, even as the damage built up over the years. One of Big Show's biggest struggles was his knees. Decades of choke slams, giant boots, and falls from the top rope destroyed his joints. Over his career, Big Show underwent multiple knee surgeries, each one taking months of recovery. There were times when he could barely walk backstage after a match, yet he still stepped into the ring the next night. Fans saw the giant, but behind the curtain, he was often in agony. As the years went on, Big Show's size and constant travel took another toll, his hips and back. Doctors eventually told him he needed hip replacement surgery. The pain was so bad at one point that he admitted he struggled just to stand up in the morning. For a man who once dominated the ring with ease, even simple movements had become a daily battle. But still, Big Show pushed forward, determined to entertain the WWE Universe. There were times in Big Show's career when it looked like everything might come to a sudden end. WWE fans often saw the giant walking down the ramp with confidence, but what they didn't see were the endless battles his body was fighting behind the scenes. One of the darkest moments came after a major knee operation. The pain was unbearable, and the damage was severe. When doctors examined him, the words they spoke were devastating. They told him he might never wrestle again. For most people, those words might have been the end. But for Big Show, whose entire life had been dedicated to professional wrestling, it felt like having his very identity ripped away. Imagine being told that the one thing you've poured your heart, soul, and body into for decades could be gone forever. That's what Big Show faced. The thought of never stepping back into the ring, never hearing the roar of the crowd, never being able to do what he loved. It was crushing. But here's where his true character showed. Instead of giving up, he fought. He pushed himself into grueling rehabilitation sessions, spending countless hours strengthening his body when most people would have chosen to walk away. Every stretch, every painful exercise, every drop of sweat was a fight not just for his health, but for his career and for his legacy. The road back wasn't easy. There were setbacks. There were moments when the pain almost broke him, and there were days when it seemed impossible. But Big Show refused to quit. He had been called a giant his whole life, and now it was time to prove that being a giant wasn't just about size. It was about heart, resilience, and the will to keep moving forward no matter what. And time after time, he returned. Each comeback was a statement to the world that no injury could stop him. Every time he stepped back into the ring, fans saw not just a superstar. They saw a fighter who had beaten the odds. But with each return also came more scars. His body carried the marks of every surgery, every fall, every brutal fight he had endured. Those scars told a story. They were reminders that greatness comes with sacrifice, and that every moment Big Show gave to the fans came at a cost. Yet, despite the toll it took on him, he kept pushing, kept fighting, kept coming back. Big Show's injuries may have threatened to end his career, but his resilience ensured they never defined it. In fact, those battles only added to his legend. He wasn't just the giant who towered over opponents. He was the giant who refused to be broken. And that's why, no matter how many times his body was tested, he always found his way back to the ring, proving that true strength isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. Behind the lights, cameras, and cheers, the Big Show lived in constant pain. He admitted in interviews that even during his championship runs, he was hurting. His size, once his greatest advantage, became his biggest challenge. And yet, despite the surgeries, the crutches, and the doctors telling him to quit, Big Show never stopped fighting. He showed the world that being a giant wasn't just about size. It was about heart, endurance, and the will to keep going. The Big Show may have looked unstoppable in the ring, but his body tells a different story. A story of pain, sacrifice, and determination. His injuries remind us that even giants are human, and that every slam, every match came with a price. And yet, he gave everything he had for the fans. That's why, despite the pain, the Big Show will always be remembered as one of the toughest legends in wrestling history. Which Big Show moment do you remember the most? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more WWE stories. Thanks for watching.